this is Neil with Wasted Paper here. I'm going to be bringing you a video on the Pilot Kakuno. I've seen a few things about this pen in the past and a few other people talk about it. I'm kind of trying to see if this is, maybe the go-to for beginner fountain pens. The one I've been recommending and kind of stick hard to, and I'll use it in the comparison later, is kind of the Lamy Safari, especially considering the price point. But let's go straight into the review on this one. It comes in a nice little disposable plastic box. There are instructions that I can't exactly read. It has a fine nib, that's what the F is for, and then it actually comes with a face on the nib, which you'll see in a minute. I don't know if it always matches the one here, but it looks like it does in this scenario. Once you're inside of the package, it comes with an ink cartridge, which looks to be black. I'm guessing the B is for that. It has this, which just shows you how to put a cartridge into a pen. I can't read it, but I can tell you what it's showing. This is your pen cap right here. It does have an hexagonal shape to it. It looks like it has holes in the top. Not sure why those would be there, but maybe they don't look like they go all the way through, as I'm not seeing light through there. Kind of strange. Oh, there's a sticker on here, which I will take off. As you can see, the cap does click on just fine. I believe this would be maybe more of a roll stop. It shouldn't roll much because of the shape, but I'm guessing maybe that's what that's for. I don't fully know. You do have their branding right there. It tells you the pen brand and the model. And then we have the pen itself. So the pen also shares that shape. And it has a steel nib. This one is a fine, like I said. And you get that little nice face on there. Let me zoom in to show you that face better. There's the face up close. It's winking at you. I guess it doesn't match the box perfectly. The box didn't have that. But it is a fine nib. You see the F stamped there. You have a clear, transparent grip section, which shows you the feet underneath, which is actually kind of cool. The body right here just feels like plastic. It's smooth, but it's not like you're sliding. It's got some feeling to it. On the inside, you can see your feet here. We're going to be using the cartridge that came with this. There's the back of the feed. It is a plastic feed, as that's a given. It actually reminds me of the varsity feed from that video. If you haven't seen that yet, I will link that one in the description. We're going to be using the black cartridge that came with the pen to ink it up. It goes straight in there, and then you push it down. You know you got it because it punctures. And you can actually see it in this clear grip section pretty well. The paper I'm going to be using in my writing sample is the Tokyo Campus paper. I use this one a lot, relatively affordable, and I think that kind of fits the theme with this pen as well. Affordable, and they kind of work for like a student and stuff if you want to go that route and still have a fountain pen. As far as the writing goes, I didn't feel any sort of issues. This is a little bit sharper because it's a fine tip, but it's also a Japanese pen, so their fine is a little bit more fine than I'm used to, and it's probably a bit more than I would want personally. I love fine nibs, but this is a little sharp for me. I'm not expecting a whole lot out of this for flex, but we'll see what we can get. This is with no pressure. This is with no pressure. This is with none, with it's not there. I don't want to pretend. Like, there's the slightest bit, sure, but I mean, it's not enough that I would ever even try to do that. Plus, this really is made for a beginner. Beginners aren't out here intentionally flexing their nibs at all to see what it can do. For size comparison, I wanted to go with some pens that I also consider to be starter pens. So I have a Lamy Safari, and I also have a Kakuno Sport. The Quaco Sport's obviously going to be much smaller, but I feel like the price point is very similar across these. This is the cheapest for sure, but then it's kind of this, then this. As you can see with size, the Kakuno is smaller than the other two, but it's not that much smaller. The weight difference is there. This is an extremely light pen that I don't feel like really weighs much of anything. It is similar to this in weight. It's almost, I would actually say it's even lighter than the Kakuno Sport in weight. The Kakuno is almost a joke uncapped. You really shouldn't be using it like that. You can, I guess, if your hands are extremely small, but I don't know of anyone that's actually doing it. But when you look at the Kakuno versus the Safari, they're actually almost identical in length. I would say it's like a micro difference, but they're almost identical, so you can expect about the same size. Even the grip section where it starts here and there is almost identical as far as the width or length of your grip. And now finally, when they're posted, again, these two are very similar. The Lamy Safari takes it by just a little bit, and obviously the Sport's not going to catch up, but I also wanted to show you the Sport posted is longer than the Kakuno. I want to make sure to get that in there. But it's similar, but it's definitely longer. But so you can get an idea if you own any of these pens as far as the size and what to expect with that. Another thing I'd like to mention about this pen is the price point. So I was able to get this one on sale for around $10 on Amazon, which is extremely affordable, especially for all the things that I like about this. The design and look of it doesn't really speak to me, but I could see how kids would like this pen. And by kids, I mean anyone probably not a teenager, so anyone under that age or around 10, even, whatever. If you want to get them into fountain pens, I think this is a great starter for that. One, it's got a cap that's really easy to use. They're not dealing with threads or any other unique mechanisms. If you could buy a converter, I wouldn't because the price of the converter is almost as much as the pen. But what you do get the fundamentals of is one, you can have a really nice nib. You can choose the size you want. You can get them into trying that. You can see the feed so they kind of understand the mechanism at play. You use a cartridge so they can kind of puncture a cartridge and see how that goes. The grip itself, with it being angular like this, it kind of forces your grip a bit more so they can help build posture and the way they want to hold their pen and kind of refine that more. And then the nib is smooth. I mean, it's a Pilot nib. Even on their low end, their quality is good. I really like what Pilot brings to the table. I don't know that I would go a fine nib like I did here. I'd probably do a medium just to give them some more leeway when they're new and finding this out. But then they could go out and buy cartridges and do whatever they want and just really have a good first time with this pen. All that being said, would I pick this over a Lamy Safari or a Koeko? I don't know if I would. It's kind of in a weird place. If they're like 10 and under, I don't worry about them losing this or damaging it, and replacing this isn't that hard. So I think someone that's not a teenager, I think this would be a great starting point. I think that might actually outplay these two when it comes to starting points. But once they become a teenager and you're looking more into it, I really lean on this one even over this. I like this a lot, but there is a lot of limitations with this. One is it's smaller, your ink size is smaller. It does have threaded cap, which I don't think is a big deal, but for new people starting out, maybe it could be. But a big selling point about the Safari to me is how easy it is to change the nibs. You can really learn a lot and experience a lot with that. And I am a little biased as I started with the Safari, but I just think they're great pens. I think, though, you probably should be a little bit older. And this is just my opinion. You can just say otherwise. But I think you should be a little bit order free, step into that. But I think this is probably the best once you get older. But starting out, being young and new and everything, I really think the Kakuno is the way to go. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below.